first impressions of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I think first impressions overall, it is a rather exciting piece of kit. It's simple and relatively easy to use. At least that's the impression that I get. This was actually purchased after getting feedback from one of my colleagues who was using the Insta360 X5, and he wanted something that was a little bit simpler, didn't require for him to be able to do some of the processing on his end, which is what kind of an Insta360 is used for. And some of the other folks that he had with him on his trip were actually using this camera, which is the DJI Pocket 3. So I've never personally used this camera, and so went ahead and purchased this for the studio. And these are my first impressions. A few things that really stood out for me, things that I like. This is a creator combo that was purchased. Essentially, one of the things I definitely wanted to ensure is that we have the appropriate amount of battery life. That's what this particular stick that it comes with. This is an additional battery. I did not charge anything. I simply took it out of the box, plugged everything in, and turned it on. SD card not included. What I did was I purchased a pro grade digital 128 gig V60 micro SD card. The first thought I realized is that this is super light. Like, it weighs absolutely nothing. And so, which is a great perk, especially if you're going to be running around with this, carrying this. One of the things that it comes with is this particular travel pouch, which is great. I don't know why they included this extra bit, because I know one of the challenges, if I didn't get the creator combo, which comes with the extended battery life, one of the challenges that this thing has as a standard is that the charging port for the USB-C is right here on the bottom, and there's no quarter 20, whereas the extended battery life as well as this extension has a quarter 20 built into it. And so just go ahead and pushed it in. Once it's clipped on, it's pretty much good to go. A couple things that stood out to me almost immediately. This is how easily the camera turns on. It comes with its own DJI wireless mic, which when you turn on, automatically pairs with this. So if I tap, you'll see the levels bars going up and down. A few things that stood out. One, there's a digital zoom. Boom. So I can go into a 2x crop. And if I'm not mistaken, it just maintains the quality of the resolution. Item number 2, ease with which I just go into selfie mode. Yeah, this is me recording with the camera. And there's a thing called face tracking. And so 4K 60, this is the talking head video that I'm recording. Doesn't matter which way I move. So if I were to even go step back, I'm taking the microphone with me so we can see exactly what's going on. This is an exciting feature. I can imagine for educators or anybody who wants to use this as a web streaming application, and they don't necessarily want to be tied to where they're at. This could actually prove to be quite useful. And the fact that it's paired with the DJI mic. Now, the challenge here is going to be eye lining. So right now I'm looking at the lens, whereas now I'm looking at myself in the recording of this video. The question is, do you notice a difference in eye line from me looking at the LCD screen, the viewfinder, versus me looking directly into the lens? Recording mode. Pay attention to the vertical space above and below my head. So if I go into this and I go to 1-to-1 mode, there is an increase in the vertical space, and but the question is there a decrease in the horizontal space? So pay attention to the horizontal space. You can see the hallway that leaves out from the wall there, and then the window, versus if I go to 16:9 mode. So I get a little bit more horizontal space. So this is a consideration to be had. Obviously, I mentioned before the DJI mic. It is something that records. You want this? There's a couple of modes in here. that I just kind of like want to point out. When you swipe down the bottom right icon, it'll show you the different follow modes. There's just the pan follow, so it doesn't matter which way we go, it's going to essentially use that like as if you're holding any camera. Then there's a basic tilt lock option. The camera will stay level. I find this to be a little bit more filmic with the way that the camera moves. He's enjoying his little cracker. And so D-Log M footage, doesn't matter which way I point the camera, whether it's vertically, horizontally. Now, if I do turn this way, obviously the gimbal head will turn, but doesn't matter which way I tilt, it'll stay in that position. Now, so I'm discovering a few, there you go, active track is enabled. Great. He's stepping on the very cracker that I gave him to eat. But yeah, so I double click or double press, and it's going to follow him. So even if I turn the camera away, it's still following him, right? The head is essentially locked on to wherever he's going, which is great because now it doesn't matter even if I rotate the camera. What do you want, buddy? Let me go ahead and give him another snack. He just had a lot of food, right? Double click and it is following him again. Same thing in selfie mode. I turn off the tilt lock. The head is staying consistent. I personally would be comfortable if I had this on, just as is, just throw it in my bag when I want to use it. Whoops, pull it out and boom, and it turns on. The other thing that I wanted to point out is how if you press Pro, it turns off the Pro options. If you press Pro, it turns on the Pro options. The other adjustments, the sharpness and noise reduction, I'll keep those both at -2. Those are the modes that would give me the greatest or the best possible image quality. The key thing here is to ensure that the footage that's coming out of this camera doesn't look like it's coming from a cell phone. Regarding the microphone now, obviously the DJI microphone is a wireless mic. You turn it on, it connects directly to the Osmo Pocket 3. But one of the upsides is that you can insert any kind of additional external microphone, i.e. a lapel, or in my case, this handy dandy shotgun mic from Sennheiser. So just simply plug that in here. And as you plug that in, it's got the magnetic element over here, so I just kind of lash it on there, and it stays on pretty strong as long as your the transmitter or whatever is outputting audio from the shotgun mic, as long as that is on, then there's going to be audio being captured into the video itself. I want to close out this video with relation to the quality of that audio. So if we were to say flip this out and I press face hackers enable, great. I press record and I am pointing the microphone, the shotgun microphone, directly at me. And this is the quality of the audio that comes out of it. So this is a standard picture profile selfie mode. You'll notice that the highlights are brighter and the shadows are darker. And if I were to flip this around, right, so if I touch the screen for the outdoors, you'll notice it is overly saturated. I wonder how this compares. Blue and green, standard picture profile, outdoors. This is HLG mode. This is what this picture profile looks like. And now this is a D-Log M. Again, pay attention to the blues and greens, shadows and highlights. And this is with a LUT applied. See how much different that is, and how does this compare to the standard picture profile, how much different the image quality is. And if you want to charge this device, I believe you just plug this in here and it will charge both. That's the assumption. I am happy to report that after the battery ran out, I plugged it in, and when you plug it into the extended battery, as you see over here, it will charge both the extended battery and the Pocket 3 internal base battery at the same time. So there you have it. First impressions, DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and that's a wrap. See you soon.